The man was trying to change his shadow because in this world, status was determined by one's shadow. One day, the man went to a top-tier company for a job interview with great confidence. Then, the man sat nervously in front of the interviewer. But the company's interviewer asked the interviewee to go to a photography studio. So, the man went to the designated spot and adjusted his position according to the icon on the floor. Suddenly, the lights came on. However, he found that his shadow was very thin and crooked, while everyone else's shadows were neat and tall. Seeing this, the interviewer asked the man to go home. Then, the man looked at his shadow sadly and had to go home disappointedly. And the advertisements were all about promoting the standard shadow. Before long, he took his toolbox and went to a room. Upon entering, he found that everyone else was adjusting their shadows according to the framework of the standard shadow. Then, the man began to reshape his shadow. After that, he went for the interview again, but his shadow still wasn't up to standard. So, the man adjusted his shadow once more. After a lot of hard work, he tried again, but the company still rejected him. However, he kept remolding himself and attending interview after interview. His shadow became neat and tall. Although his shadow was now full of patches, no company would still accept his shadow. After experiencing failure over and over again, the man began to feel very inferior. He looked at other people's tall shadows and chose to live in someone else's shadow. Then, he came to the entrance of the subway. Suddenly, he stopped and started to trample on his own shadow frantically. He hated his thin shadow. But this strange behavior attracted the attention of passers-by. More and more people gathered around him like judges, starting to talk about him and putting him at the center of public opinion. Nowadays, the shadow was like a nightmare slowly climbing up his body. He clutched his ears in agony. But at that moment, a tall figure suddenly appeared in front of him. He suddenly had an evil thought. So, he ran frantically towards the shadow in front of him. After a while, the man stopped, but still continued to pursue, placing his hand on the other person's shoulder. Suddenly, the man's shadow began to absorb the other person's shadow. The other person lay quietly on the floor. Then he realized that he had torn off the other person's shadow. Finally, the man ran away with someone else's shadow.